morning, class, the receiving school students and teachers.
Good morning, Mrs. Patakas.
How are you all this morning?
We are very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm very well, just like you. Thank you. You may be seated. Now, rules enable safety. Rules enable safety. That has been our phrase, key phrase for the lesson we have had in the previous lesson and this lesson. I'd like someone to tell me what you think of that phrase, the phrase that says rules enable safety. Rules enable safety. Shane?
If you follow rules, it will lead us to safety and we won't get hurt.
Very good, thank you. So that is our key point, especially in the previous lesson we had, and also the lesson that we will be having now. Now, we looked previously in the previous lesson at rules, and we all worked together to formulate or to write up or make up rules. Now, I'd like someone to give me an example of one of the rules that you have written together as a group in the previous lesson. If I can have Violet to give us one of the rules that you have written together as a group.
Wear a proper dressing equipment while cooking, example, an apron.
Okay, wear proper dressing. Now, that is one of the rules, and we have so many others that you have formulated in the previous lesson. Now, when we are writing rules, we categorize rules into 3 areas. And the areas, as shown, we have dressing is one of the areas. We also have cleanliness and also general safety. Now, Violet has just given us one dressing rule. You were also asked to do 2 from each of these areas in the previous lesson, and I hope everybody has done that and completed that in the previous lesson. Now, I have made up or written up my own 3 rules, and I will have Messi, Bobby, and Elisa to come and put these rules in the right place. Okay, they're going to put the rules where they should go. Whether the rule is going to be a dressing rule, a cleanliness rule, or general safety rule. So if I can have the 3 of them to come up quickly, please. Messi, Teresa, and Bobby. Hey, sorry, Elisa. Okay, I'd like you to put those rules in the where they should go. Elisa used to use 2 magnets. Bobby, can you help with one more magnet for... Okay, let's see the rules we have. Now we have, for dressing, it says, hair should be neatly pinned off the face. Okay, that is an example of a dressing rule. We have cleanliness that says, wipe out food spills on the floor. Now, do you all, let's have Linda, do you agree with that rule to be under cleanliness? No, then where should it be?
Safety.
General safety. Thank you. So for cleanliness, we have wash hands before touching food. And general safety, we have wipe out food spills on the floor. So these are sample rules that I have made up for us to have a look at it. Now, rules that are made must always have a reason, or there must be always reasons for rules made. Now, rules are made in order that we expect people to know what the rules are made for, so they are able to carry that rule out or be able to follow it accordingly or as expected. Now we are all going to work together. You're going to help me, the model class and even the receiving school students. You're going to help me to find out the reasons, okay, the reasons for each of these rules. I've made those rules up, but I'd like you to help me to find out the reasons for these rules. Okay, I'll give you time to talk about it real quickly, and we see what you come up with. Okay, let's have the first one to come and write yours, whether dressing, cleanliness, or general safety, any of them. Okay, thank you, Shane. Come up and you write your reasons under the rule that you came up with a reason. Oh, yours is that, okay? Okay, who else should be coming after Shane for the other two we have? How about Helen for one of those rules? Okay, thank you. Now that's the reason Shane has written for that rule. Now here he says to prevent hair from falling into the food. Good, thank you. So that is what Shane has come up with now. What about the other two we have for cleanliness and general safety? We are on brainstorming, so any answer you come up with, I will accept your answers. Okay, Helen, thank you. Helen has written to prevent germs, okay? Probably germs from the hands getting onto the food. How about the last one? Anybody? Okay, let's have Melin. Thank you. You have your answer written there under the...
What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? Lyra, what did he say?
Melin has written to prevent ants coming into the house. When spills are not wiped out, spills from food are not wiped out, they can attract or bring ants into the house. Thank you. Now, as usual, I am not going to say one of the reasons is correct and one is wrong. No. Every reason that our three friends have given are all correct. Now, this is what I have. And once again, I will have another 3 to come and put them in the right place for us. Let's have Nanadai, Patrick, and Hayano, please come quickly. I'd like you to put this where they should go to. Move quickly. Once you get yours, you put it where it should go to. Get your magnets underneath where your friends have written. Yes. Go and get your magnet and put yours. Don't wait. Okay, thank you. So we have now that is what we have. So let's see whether our friends are correct. This one says death from the hair will fall into the food. We also have death from hands will make the food unclean to consume and prevents fall. Now, there can be many reasons. Not only one reason for certain rules made. There can be more than one reason. So if you have a look at the reasons that your friends have written and the reasons that I have written, they all are the correct reasons to the rules that have been formulated. And there can be more than 2. Whatever we have, you can have more besides the 2 that we have. Okay, now, our activity is to formulate reasons for the rules that you formulated in the previous lesson. So that everybody should be, your papers that you have written, your rules should be with you. So once we come to the activity time, you are to check your rules and try to write reasons for whatever rules that you have written. Now, why have reasons for rules? Why have reasons for rules? Now, reasons help a person in knowing what would happen if a certain rule is not followed or carried out, which means any rule that is made, everybody must be made aware of that rule, and also everyone must be made aware of the reasons for those rules made. If people know why rules are made and the reasons, they are able to carry out or able to follow as expected or as required. Okay, if I can have the class and receiving students to have that reasons written down quickly. Now, if I can have Tassi to tell us what rules are we really working on? What rules are we actually working on? We worked on in the previous lesson, and now we will be writing reasons for those rules.
Cooking rules.
Cooking rules. Now, thank you, Tassi. I'd like Rachel to tell us, why are we concerned about cooking rules? Why are we working on cooking rules?
Basically, to prevent injuries while cooking and to promote healthy living.
Very good, thank you. Now, it's basically to make sure we prevent any injuries during cooking and also to promote healthy living. Now, if we have a look at this, okay, where it says hair should be neatly pinned off the face, it's actually helping to promote healthy living. Now, we also have this, wipe out food spills on the floor. This is actually helping to prevent injuries. So those are the basic reasons why we are concerned about making rules for cooking. something that we will be actually doing so in order that we don't hurt ourselves, and also we help to promote healthy living among ourselves. Now we have a look quickly at 3 examples. I have one from each one of those 3 categories that we are looking at. And these are actually the rules that we had a look at, I formulated, and we had a look at them in the previous lesson. Now we have example 1, which says dressing. And you can see the reason. I have it on again, sorry, the rule on again. And the reason, it says slip shoes can cause a fall. Okay, so if you are wearing something that can slip very easily, and if you step on food that is spilled on the floor, you can easily slip and fall down, and whatever you are carrying, if it's hot food, that hot food can fall on you and you can get burned from that hot food. Now, another example is on cleanliness, and the reason is to get rid of dirt from the fingernails from getting into the food. Because the dirt from the fingernail may contain germs in it, and once we eat the food, we can get sick from whatever we eat. Now, the third one is from general safety. General safety, we had a look at that example of the rule in the previous lesson. The reason is that it protects a person, or it can protect you from burns. Meaning, if you don't use a pot holder or tea towel to remove any hot dish of food or pot of the stove, or even from the fire, you can always get burned from it. So to prevent that, you have to make sure you use things like tea towels and pot holders to help you. Now, those are some examples of reasons for rules, and that is exactly what you will be all doing together in your groups. So group activity, you are to have reasons written to all those 6 rules that you have written in the previous lesson. So if I can have the runners from each group to come and get your papers. Don't forget, you are only writing the rule, writing the reasons, not the rules. Please, the rules are already there with you. You have formulated that in the previous lesson. Somebody must have got mine. Can we just check with others first? Now listen to the students in the research school as well as the model class. To help yourself to make things quickly, now in a previous lesson, you all, among yourselves, you decided for who to work on the rules for each of those categories. So you will do the same for this lesson. Those who formulated rules for dressing, you will have to write your reasons for the rules you made. And you will do likewise for cleanliness and general safety. Okay, 2 of you are to make up reasons for your rules. You make up reasons for your rules, and 2 of you do the same, and then write it on the paper. That way you make it easier. So you just heard me. You're going to make up the reasons for the rules you formulated. Okay, that way you make it quickly. What did I tell you to do, Terence? What's the instruction? Linda, what's the instruction? Again, come on again. Write the reasons for the rules you formulated, okay? There is another instruction I also gave after that. Another instruction I gave after that to make it easier and faster. Very good, thank you. So Bobby was the only one who listened to that instruction, okay? The rules you made, you are to write the reasons for those rules. In that way you make it easy. So like the two of you, Patrick and Anna, which area did you look at? Dressing, so two of you are going to make up the reasons for the rules you made for dressing, okay? Do it that way quickly and then have it written on the paper. Whatever you are telling me, you are reading or telling me what is on the screen. Ovin?
Busy discussing.
Yeah, you're supposed to listen before everything is completed, you do your work, see? If you cannot listen to instructions, then you won't know what to do. Now, you are to work on whatever rule you formulated, you write your reasons for that, and that's how you make it easy, okay? So if two of you worked on general safety, two of you work on the rules, on the reasons for the rules you formulated. And that is how you will get it done quickly, rather than having it as a group that takes time, okay? So the rule you worked on, you get your reasons done quickly and have it on the paper. Now, who formulated the rules on dressing? Who formulated the rules on dressing? So you have to come up with your reasons. While they are doing that, two of you come up with your reasons, Daira and Francis. You formulated the rules on one of the areas, so two of you must come up with your reasons, while two of you do the same. And then once you all come up with it, you have it written. Those are your rules. Okay. Now, who worked on, who formulated the rules for cleanliness? So two of them, they come up with their reason because they formulated the rule, they must know the reason. Okay, Rachel, what did you work on? Which rules? Area? General safety, you and who else? Okay, so the two of you made a rule and they are your rules, so you must know the reason for it. See? Okay? So you all worked in the group, but then you all had different areas to look at. So the rules you made, you must know your reasons. So you are going to give your reasons and it will be written just the same as two of you. Okay, yours is cleanliness, huh? Your what? Dressing. So you come up, two of you, William, and you come up with your what? Because these are your rules. So what's your reason for making this rule? You tell them. Okay, thank you. Let's have, you have to move your hands quickly. Make your writing a bit small so you don't use a lot of paper. So those are your rules and the reasons you're writing here. Oh, you got your first one done already? Let's see. Okay, have the last one done. Now I will have Group 5, get ready with your paper. Group 6 and 7, please. The reasons you have for one of those categories, whether it's dressing or cleanliness. Now the others, I'd like you to make sure you have your group numbers written and also your names written, so I will collect in all those papers. I'll have a look at them and I will give them back to you when it's time for practical. Teachers in the receiving schools, don't forget that the rules the students are formulating and even the reasons they have for each of those rules, these rules are going to be used by them when it comes to practical cooking. So for the rules to be kept in a safe place, if you could collect all the papers in and also have some time to look through the rules that your students have formulated, the reasons, and keep them until when it's time for practical, you can give it back to them so they can use those rules to work with. Now, if I can have groups 3, 5, 6, and 7, please. Whichever group is ready with your paper. Oh dear, okay. Now, if you have completed one of those categories, whether it's general safety, cleanliness, or dressing, I'd like you to come up with what you have done. You are not to complete all of them. Whatever you have done, I'd like that one to be presented. Now let's see, we will have 2 people from each group. One will have the rules and one has the reason, so we can see what you came up with. We'll have group 5 first as they are ready, so we'll have them first. Now, what we will be doing, we are going to have one of them to read the rule and the other to read the reason. So that is what everybody going to do when you come up. One of you reads the rule, the other reads the reason. So let's start with Edward. Where's the other mic? Give it to him.
For dressing, we got wear gloves when holding hot pots, wear the right types of clothes for cooking.
Okay, reasons.
Our reasons is to prevent hands from getting bent, prevent clothes wearing from getting split.
For the cleanliness, we got make sure the utensils are clean, wash the food before cooking.
Don't consume germs. Don't get germs on cooked food.
General safety, we got be careful while chopping wood. Do not leave the food on the stove while outside.
Food might overcook or might burn the house.
Very good, thank you. Good. Okay, I'd like to see just like what Raymond and Edward have done. And once the rule is read, please don't take your time. You just read the reason. Don't tell us that it's reason. We already know you are reading whatever reason is written for the rule. Let's see the next group, group 6. Okay, put your papers up.
Rules for dressing: don't wear long sleeve shirts and wear aprons and cooking hats.
The reasons for that is prevent from catching fire, prevent from staining clothes and hair from falling into the food.
Cleanliness: keep kitchen tidy and wash your hands before eating.
The reasons are prevent insects and harmful bacteria, prevents you from getting sick.
General safety: handle sharp objects with caution and always use clothes to take off hot clothes.
The reason is so that you won't get yourself, you won't cut yourself and prevent you from getting burned.
Very good, thank you. We have group 7. Group 7, please.
Our rules is for dressing is wear the right type of clothes. Make sure the clothes you are wearing are clean.
And the reasons to prevent food spills from getting onto your clothes.
Cleanliness is make sure the equipment are clean. Make sure that the food you are cooking are washed.
Reason to prevent the food from getting the dirt from the equipment.
General safety is after cooking, turn off the stove. Have the right size of pot to put onto each rack.
For example, if you put the smaller pot onto the bigger rack, the pot will get burned.
Very good, thank you. Okay, we have group 3. Okay, let's have group 2. We'll come to you. Group 2, move quickly. Group 1 and group 5, I also want you to get ready to, group 4. Now if we can have you to move, get yours done quickly, group 2, please. So we can give chance to the others. Okay, just go through it quickly.
For dressing, wear the right type of food dressing equipment. Example, apron.
To prevent spills or your clothes.
Never wear long sleeve shirts while cooking.
The sleeves will get burned.
For cleanliness, clean the floor before you're finished cooking.
To prevent germs and food.
Wash the food before you put in the pot.
To take that off.
For general safety, be careful when cutting or peeling food.
Might cut yourself with knife.
Be careful when holding hot pots and pans.
You might burn your hand.
Good, thank you. Let's have group 3 quickly. One
Dressing-
and 4, get ready to, please.
Dressing wear aprons when cooking something
Stand
with
properly, turn around.
oil or removing something from the stove.
To prevent you from burning your skin, to prevent dirt from the food to stuck on your hand or clothes.
Cleanness, have clean fingernails and wash your hands before cooking.
To prevent dirt from falling into the food and to prevent germs. Because if you don't wash the food, the dirt will fall into the food.
General safety, be careful when you are slicing food with a sharp knife. Wear ends, leaves when removing hot stones or pan.
You might cut your hand. To wear hand gloves when removing hot trays or pans, because you might burn your hand.
Good, thank you. We have group 4, move quickly. Group 1, get ready so we don't take up time.
Rules for dressing are wear the right type of clothes for cooking.
To prevent dirt of the clothes from going into the food.
Cleaning and make sure your hands are clean before you touch cooked food.
To prevent germs from going into the food.
Be careful while you are preparing a cook preparing a food. Be careful while you are preparing and cooking the food.
To prevent injuries.
Good, thank you. Let's have the last group, group 1. That will be collected later.
Our rules for dressing is having gloves to hold hot pots.
And the reason is to prevent burns.
Wear apron to protect from oil.
The reason is to prevent oil burns.
Cleanliness, wash hands before preparing.
Dirt from hands can cause germs.
Utensils must be clean.
To prevent unhealthy and unclean food.
General safety, children must stay away from the hot stove.
To prevent child from getting burnt.
Dangerous utensils must be put away for after use.
Also to prevent them from cutting themselves.
Very good, thank you. Now all the reasons that you have written for all your rules are all good, and you have all done a very good job, and I'd like you all to give yourselves a worship clap for job done well. Right, thank you. Now let's have a look back once again at what rules and also what reasons are. Let's have Rachel to tell us what rules are. What are rules, Krista? Rachel, what are rules? Another one? What are rules, especially cooking rules?
A set of guidelines to show how things are to be done before and during cooking.
Very good, thank you. Carrot, if you can tell us why we have to have reasons, especially for all the cooking rules that we had to formulate. Why have reasons for all the rules you formulated?
Basically to prevent injuries while cooking and to promote healthy.
Very good, thank you. Once again, resident school teachers, please collect all the rules and the reasons in. Also help to check through what the work your students have done and put them away for later use. If I can have Quarry to tell us what our key phrase for this lesson is.
Reasons for rules.
Okay, so let's see. Rules and reasons. Rules and reasons is our key phrase. Now our next lesson we will be looking at creating awareness. Now this is a reminder to the receiving school teachers. Whatever is on the program, our program says we are to be working on practical activities, that is cooking and all that. However, circumstances and situations that are beyond my control, that is making us to put our week of cooking or practical work to the week after, and so we will be on with whatever is supposed to be for the last week to this week, which will be on creating awareness of what we have gone through for the rest of the term. And that is based on our unit on nutrition. And with that, good morning class. Good students out there in the receiving schools with your teachers. Thank you, or you can sit down.
And thank you for your lesson.
Receiving schools, here's your reference for the next lesson. Strand, substrand, outcome, topic, materials, and reference.